Hello and welcome into the Purple Penguin Craft Room. I am Vicky. Today's craft is going to be snowman, but it's going to be made out of unusual products. We're going to be using foam pumpkins. We're going to use foam pumpkins, so I'm going to quickly try and go over some of the things I'll be using, and then we'll get started. So, right after, September starts, August, we start seeing a bunch of the foam pumpkins, right? And all different sizes. We're going to be using some pumpkins and leftover basically from the fall time for winter. We're going to be turning these into snowmen. So I've got four different sizes of pumpkins. Probably just going to do about two in this just so you can kind of see. We're going to be using some ribbons. We're going to be using some felt. This is stiff black felt. I'm going to also be using, I've got some little wood round for bases. Probably also going to be using this as a spool, wooden spools. You can find those in any of the wood departments. And then we're also going to be using some spackling for snow. I like using spackling for snow, just so you know that. Red fabric and little foam balls. I got these in a pretty big sized pack from Michael's. And foam pumpkins, you can get these anywhere. Any of the stores have them. All the stores have them. I almost recommend waiting till the end of the season because they always have tons of leftover, and then you get them for a discount. And then you have them for next year. So just highly recommend that. All right, we're going to be using some paint and some glue and some other things, and let's get started. Jumping right into this project, I've got at least four different size pumpkins. This is the large one. So this is the Dollar Tree large pumpkin. Not going to be doing with that. That would be a pretty large snowman, but it would be pretty cool to do. But these are also from the Dollar Tree. They're the ones that have the little clips on them. But I think we are going to be doing those. These were from a bag of pumpkins, I believe from probably like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Again, it was, after the holidays, so they were on sale, and there was a bag of them. Probably not going to do these either. We're going to stick to the smaller ones. Then I got a little bag of these guys too. These were also in a mini bag. I believe also from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It could be even Joann's, but there was like, it was a whole bunch of them. They're pretty cute in size. So we're going to be doing these two, just for comparison. I've got this little round disc. This is from the wood pile section, I believe at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And that's just so that he has a little base to sit on. This too, you can get any wood disc or whatever. You could even use cardboard, foam board, whatever. We're going to jump right in here and get started. We'll start with the wood bases. And then this little spool, it's about an inch. We're going to use it as part of the hat. Part of his hat for this pumpkin, or for this snowman, I should say. So we're going to actually paint that black. We're going to paint this black. We're going to stain these up. And when I say stain, we're just going to use the antique wax, which is basically just kind of a brown, and you can easily go ahead and you use watered down paint, whatever you got. It doesn't have to be the antique wax. Or if you want to use just regular stain, you can use regular stain too. That happens. A lot of people just don't like the smell of it. So this is just takes the smell out of staining things. And this is just a baby wipe. And you basically just smear it on just like you would regular stain. Because it is a damp baby wipe. And you can just use a regular cloth too. You don't have to use a baby wipe. I just use it for the convenience. But use a damp cloth would also work. Or if you wanted to, I've seen people actually wet their wood project. And that works too, so you don't have to use, so you can use a dry cloth and just kind of dampen your project. Basically, you just want a means to be able to smear on the antique wax here. So it will dry a little darker than that, or a little lighter, I should say. Not darker. It will dry lighter. Okay, they're already starting to dry, so you can tell that they're going to be lighter. So we'll set those off to the side. Let's go ahead and kind of prep our pumpkins here. We're going to take off all of the stem pieces because we don't need those. We might actually use one as a nose. Could do that. But we're going to take all of these off. These also come apart. They're just sitting in these little, got a little hook thing. Their stems come out really easily. All right. And we're just going to take off-white. This is a light buttermilk. So it's not a bright white, it's just kind of an off-white color. This is acrylic, but you can do chalk paint, you can do whatever you want. And we're just going to get these all painted up. So I put one coat of the acrylic paint on the pumpkins. The white ones obviously are going to look a little bit better because, you know, they're already white underneath. The orange ones, however, are going to need a second coat. However, I'm going to go ahead and stack them before I do the second coat on them. So I'm going to go ahead, paint transfer there. They're not totally dry. We're going to start with our little wood bases and see how they're pretty much dry at this point. This one, just because of the kind of wood it is, ended up darker. This one ended up lighter in other areas. That's okay. I like that. So we're going to leave it. Now we're going to put our pumpkins on the top. Now, because these are foam, if you use your hot glue gun, be careful. Try and do a low temp because it will melt the foam. It will melt the foam. So just a heads up on that. So I'm going to go ahead. I like using my tacky glue just because, or any kind of craft glue, because it is going to take a little bit more to dry. However, I just feel like it's more, you're going to not melt your pumpkins. Let's just put it that way. Pumpkins are not going to melt if you do it that way. I am also going to take some floral wire. This is 16 gauge floral wire, so it's kind of got a green tint to it. But I like using floral wire because, well, first of all, it's straight. I like using straight wire that's not going to be all twisted and bent, versus when you do when you get the wires that are all coiled up, you have to straighten them out and whatnot. These just already come straight, so they come in 18-inch strips. You can get them in any floral department. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to stack these. This one. Like I said, I am using the craft glue still because I don't want to melt my pumpkins. I would let it set up for about an hour, just because that way they should be fully ready to go. And the wire is just like an extra security thing. Make sure it's extra squished on there. And I'm only cutting probably about an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half long lengths. And then we'll just put our craft glue down here. So that's that little stack. It's kind of sliding around on me a little bit here. Just make sure he's center on his piece here. That's another good thing about this glue versus hot glue is that you have a little bit of time to kind of maneuver it a little bit before you before it's stuck that way. There we go. So that's this little bit larger one. I would do the little smaller one. And basically we're just doing the same exact thing, just the smaller version. Little baby version. Like how cute is that, right? He's going to be so cute. This one, however, I'm just going to do one. Yeah, and he turned out a little wonky. But I kind of like that because, you know, snowmans aren't perfect, right? Snowmen are not going to be perfect. So he's going to be a little wonky. Wonky snowman. All right, we're just going to let them dry for about an hour and be right back. Unfortunately, some of my video did not get through. I'm having computer issues. But I did, these are dry and glued, so I did take just some antique wax and a baby wipe, and then I rubbed on to kind of dirty them up. I did that with both of the pumpkins. I actually also put a hat on this one, and all I did was take the fabric, cut out a rectangle about the width of the hat and as high as I wanted it. I did glue it around the base, and then I went ahead and I put this trim. This is just ribbon, 1/4 inch ribbon, and I glued that down, and then we tied a knot in this top here, and then I cut down the fringe so it kind of fringes it a little. And then we put this is also a ribbon from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and gave him a scarf with that ribbon. So now, oh, I also painted the spool. We have a little spool, wooden spool, and I went ahead and painted that because that's going to go on the little one. So now we're just going to set this one off to the side just for a second, and we're going to bring back in our little one here. Now to make the hat for this guy, we're going to go ahead with some stiff felt, and we need to draw a circle for the brim of his hat. I'm thinking I want to be roughly about the size of his base, so I might use that as a template here. So kind of find whatever template you can. Actually, this paint container is actually a really good template here. I like using things around the house for a template. You could also print out a circle if you have access to a printer and a computer. It'd Google a circle and just print out a circle. That works too. All right, and that is going to be the brim of his hat. And then this is going to be the top of his hat. All right, so, but I want to go ahead, I want to rough this up a little bit. We're just going to take some sandpaper. This is a 120 grit. This is a Gator sander. Just going to kind of rough up the top of this portion of his hat a little bit. There we go. Just kind of rough that up a little bit there. And we're going to glue right onto the middle of his hat here. Then we want, so this will make a really cute little top hat for him. I want to do a ribbon around the base of that, his hat there. I think we're going to go with green. How about we go with green on this one? We'll go with green. I want to check the size here. This is a brand new ribbon. Got this at Hobby Lobby. This is 1/8 of an inch. And I have 1/4 of an inch. I just want to see that barely, you can barely kind of see the 1/8 of an inch. So we're not going to do the 1/8 of an inch. We're going to do the 1/4. This is 1/4 of an inch. So it's the same one that we used on this one. I do wish it wasn't such a shiny ribbon, but that's okay. We'll make it work. I'm just going to put some glue here at the bottom. Finish it off. Overlapping it. There we go. It's the top of his hat there. Super cute. I'm not going to put it on his head, but I got to decide what part do I want the front of his head to be. I was thinking I want it here. So I'll make sure to put this part in the back. That makes a really cute little hat. And you know, instead of using the hard black felt, you could always do something like a wood disc or something instead, and that would work too. Like another one of like his wood base. If I had one that was a little bit bigger, I would probably use that instead. Let's give him a scarf too. I'm going to give him a little scarf. Again, I think I want to use green. We're going to stick with green on this one. And I've got this. This is actually St. Patrick's Day ribbon. How funny is that? It's just green, white, and gold. So, you know, I think it works for whatever. Because green is also Christmas colors as well. So let's just give him a little scarf here. Kind of cover up his neckline. And I do want to tack this down because it's going to flop up if we don't. Trim here. Okay, And he just needs some embellishments too. I'm going to pull out his scarf a little bit there. He needs some eyes and a nose. Typically I don't do mouths. Let's go ahead with some soft felt here. And we'll give him a nose he can be proud of. Alright, and I'm just going to use some regular craft glue for his nose on his face. So he's kind of, he actually looks cute without any eyes too, really. But we're going to do some eyes for him. He needs some eyes. So let's just do some black. We're just going to take our black acrylic paint. Go. Got some eyes on him. Alright, since we have this out, let's go ahead back to the other one and we'll give him a little nose too. Just not enough room for a nose and mouth. These guys, they're kind of limited on space. Oops. Alright, he's got little itty bitty eyes. Okay, last little finishing touches we gotta do. He needs a little bit of decoration. They both do. So we're gonna take, I've got these little baby black buttons, and I've got these snowflake buttons, and we are going to put those on. So first we'll take the snowflake ones, just take my wire cutters. We're just going to cut that little loop piece off there in the back. We'll need that. And then set him like so. Give him that little button. So, it's pretty cute. And we'll do the same for this guy here. It looks like he's done, but I wanted to do one quick last thing. I was going to use the spackling and give him snow around the base of him. I kind of decided on something else. We're going to take cotton balls. These are, I mean, you can get these at the Dollar Tree, but we're just going to pull it apart. This is just one cotton ball. I think one cotton ball would probably go for both of them. Let's see what we can do here. But we're just going to put some glue down here at the bottom, our base. So we're going to take that cotton ball, just kind of fluff it out. And we're just going to stick it underneath here, around the bottom of him. You can also do this with like fiber fill or anything you got that's like you could take apart an old stuffed animal or anything like that. There we go. Get his little fluff. I am going to go all the way around just because I want him to look a little more finished. I would not recommend doing this with hot glue because it definitely could burn you. But it doesn't take very much. There we go. He's all finished with his little snow. And then we'll do the same thing with this little guy too. And like I said, that was one cotton ball, and I probably have enough to do like even another one just with one cotton ball. Glue all around his base. It's going to take even less for him because he's definitely got not much going on around his bottom here. A little bit goes a long way. Smidge more. There we go. Now, the little one, he's small enough to go on like a tier tray or something like that, but you can also do an ornament string for him as well. You want to just take some twine and we can actually, because he's got this hole in his hat, that actually might help us out. Let's just tie this in a knot. You don't need very much string. And then we're just going to utilize this hole . Make sure I've got my string in here. And it fits in there perfectly. Like so. Perfect. Alright, there's two little pumpkin snowmans. Alright, keep coming back and watching some more videos, and let people know that you saw me on Purple Penguin Craft Room. Happy crafting!